Good evening, fight fans. It's me again, the Fight Geek. And tonight we're going to be breaking down UFC Fight Night live from Fight Island. We've got a difficult card to bet tonight, so I would say be cautious with your lays, but I think there's still some gold in them hills. So we're going to break it down, and we're going to start with the first fight of the night, and that's Alhassan versus Lazzez. It is Lazzez's first UFC fight. And he is a heavy striker going against another heavy striker in Alhassan. I don't know a lot about Lazzez's competition before entering the UFC tonight, but I do know from watching some of his videos, you know, there's some danger there. And Alhassan has dynamite hands as well. So if I was going to bet on this, I would say really the only safe bet with this guy Lazzez, it being his first fight. He looks great on video, but, you know, the caliber of fighter that he's used to is not the caliber of fighter that we're used to seeing in the UFC. So, you know, there could be some false positives there. But, like I said, with that explosiveness, I have a feeling he's going to come out looking to trade. And Alhassan is also, you know, a boxer. He's going to come out swinging. So I think that our safe bet here with two heavy hitters is the minus 450, that the fight's not going to go the distance. I would say bet straight up on Alhassan, but he's minus 345. So there's not that big of a differential between betting on Alhassan and betting on, you know, if somebody's saying nighty-night, and I think that there's probably more of a chance that, you know, somebody's going to go to sleep than a guarantee that that person's going to be Lazzez. So with that said, moving on to the next fight, which I consider the lock of the night, and that's McCann versus Santos. Santos looks great on paper. She's 15-1. Her one loss coming in her UFC debut, and her 15 wins coming in the canned fruit aisle of your local supermarket. So I think the odds are a little bit overinflated based off of her record, which in my opinion, you know, I think she was fighting kids down at the gym behind the schoolyard. Not saying she's bad. I'm just saying I haven't seen anything that proves that she's good. And on the other hand, McCann has taken some tough fights, and she is not really valued in this fight what I think she should be. So I would say McCann at minus 145 is probably the safest bet of the night. And that is what I would go with. Moving on, we've got Rivera versus Stamen. They're fighting at a weird weight. They're both fighting up. I think it's at 145, but it might be at a catch of 140. But it's a dangerous fight. I mean, both of these guys on paper are pretty tough. And I think both of these guys in the ring are pretty tough as well. I think, you know, you are not making a bad bet on either one of these guys. I think the UFC would probably rather Stamen win. But Rivera's coming off two tough fights, two losses, but the two losses are to Aljamain Sterling and Peter Yan. So you really can't judge him by that. And if anything, I think those two losses might have watered down the danger of this guy. It's pretty much a scratch bet in terms of the odds. You've got Rivera coming in at minus 125 and Stamen at minus 105. So a slight favorite in Rivera, but not enough that like that should really make a difference in terms of your betting decision. I would not bet the house on this, but I would say Rivera minus 125 is probably a little bit of a safer bet. If I was going on a long shot bet, I might put a couple dollars down on Rivera by KO, TKO, or DQ at plus 750. He's got some knockout power. I think he's a little bit longer in the arms, and he's a little bit stockier in the body. So at this weight, he might be a little bit more dangerous. I think also, you know, he's got something to prove. He's coming off of two tough losses, and I think he really wants a win. So I think he's going to be using a little bit of that power. We've seen him, you know, with a few KOs, TKOs on his record. I think he's got the power, and like I said, I think he's going to be coming out with some fire in his belly. Not a guarantee, but you know, it might be worth a crack at a long shot bet at that plus 750 number. Moving on, we've got Benoit versus Elliot. Another coin toss fight. Neither of these guys are very good. I would probably venture that they're probably both fighting for their job tonight. I can't see, you know, either one of these guys getting embarrassed and then coming back to the UFC. Benoit plus 110, strictly because he's a slight underdog, and I think it's better money. I really call this a coin toss fight. So, with that said, laying money with the odds in your favor is probably what I'd recommend. Cool. And moving on to the main event, we've got Kattar versus Dan Ige. This is another one that I think could go either way. I think Kattar's got a little bit more power. He's a little bit more dangerous. Ige might be a better wrestler, but Kattar's got some good wrestling defense. I think he comes out on top, and at minus 290 for a main event, I think that's the way I bet. So I would say, if we're looking at the card here, my bets are for fight 1, does not go the distance. For fight 2, McCann minus 145. For fight 3, we are going a small bet on the long shot, Rivera, TKO, KO, or DQ. Benoit versus Elliot, small bet, Benoit plus 110. And Kattar versus Ige, I would say Kattar minus 290. Those are my recommendations for the night. I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned. Subscribe. Please like. Thank you.